our main fire station, right? We cannot continue as a country and as a people to not address these issues. We can't continue to make investments and not have the returns on the investment. Whether it's in the public service, in the hospitals, the inefficiency has to be weeded out. If you don't want to perform public service, then do the honorable thing. Don't take a job in the fire department and believe it's a part-time job. Don't take the government assets, safety gear, and leave it home when you're an emergency worker. How much money we spent already in the last year on fire? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And to put it crudely, you can't respond to an event in your backyard. And the response is not about assets, you know. The response is about attitude. It's about commitment. It's about discipline. It's about professionalism. It's about being in a state of readiness. Look how quickly the police responded to the challenge. I'm publicly putting the fire service on warning. This cannot and will not be tolerated. To the population, I've been getting snapshots of all the speculations around. People are concerned based on the threats that were made. We are going to get international support to determine exactly what is happening. We are going to get that. So, this morning I want to personally thank the ranks for the continued commitment, for the work that they will continue to do out of this location. The minister and his team, we've already committed to the team resources. Today they're going to examine some other temporary but more permanent measures in terms of asset acquisition to support the more comfortable delivery of service from the police force. I've asked them to look at containerized office and also reconfiguration of containers into office type facility to support their operation. And at the same time, I want to assure the public that I've heard them also, and we're going to examine the response from the fire service in its totality. In its totality. And I've expressed my own views on the response based on factual positioning of what was happening and based on the type of calls I received to support the work that they were unable to take, the support that they were unable to take because of their state of readiness. Thank you.
You would have heard from the president, none other than the president himself, as to firstly the plan in moving forward with ensuring the services provided by the Guyana Police Force are intact. There are a number of spots here. The Guyana Police Force have set up some tents so you could come to the St. Stanislaus College compound and make your report. You got what we call a reception area already set up. You got a tent here to keep you out of the weather, so the police are here, they're on the ground. There are a number of different what going on in here? Still in setup stage. So you got another operation here setting up as your issues arise. You don't have to break down station but no Amy, you're gonna get locked up, ain't gonna get locked up if you do wrong thing. The police ready for y'all. They're ready, set, go. You see, they got, I even know the one empty, they look like a lockup, they done make there for y'all. You understand? So if y'all think it's free time and it's funny time, it's action time, right? So you heard from the president himself about his dissatisfaction at the abysmal response of the Guyana Fire Service, and I'm going to go over to the site and just try to give you a quick recap of what the condition or what the aftermath of what transpired yesterday. And when I said transpired, we're talking about the fire that literally completely destroyed the BRICKDAM police station. And for those of you who just tuned into the Guyanese Critic Live, the Guyanese Critic is coming to you from BRICKDAM, just outside the St. Stanislaus College, where none other the president himself is with the commissioner of police, deputy commanders, deputy commissioners, the commander for A Division, and the person who oversees the BRICKDAM police station itself. He's with the commissioner of Home Affairs, the fire chief, and his assistants are here on the ground. And the president would have give a real tongue lashing to the fire department for their response. And you know, I'm noticing some strange things. Normally governments represent and try to cover up. I'm noting a difference in behavior with President Ali in terms of a willingness to accept shortcomings in a system that, you know, he is in control of. His Ministry of Home Affairs oversees the Guyana Fire Service. So in accepting the shortcomings in the fire service, in asking the fire service to accept their shortcomings, they're obviously, and this is the president saying, he's dissatisfied with the response of yesterday. And we're going back to BRICKDAM police station again. This is the BRICKDAM police station that's been completely demolished, and just across the road is the St. Stanislaus College, where the Guyana Police Force has set up a temporary office and are presently looking to set up close nearby. And I can tell you work is apace presently cleaning up the compound. So the government and the Guyana Police Force is sparing no expense to get service back to the people. There's a number of vehicles have been destroyed here. Looking at some of them, they would have been old vehicles. So you got on the ground, this is the only building that was left standing. Also, I think this impact base houses the 911 setup, so most likely that should still be working. But I think if you look at other media houses, they're going to be researching different stories. This is a this used to house the traffic department. This was the canteen, and canteen, yeah, I think canteen you call that thing where you're going to get food for eat and all them things now. So already there are heavy equipment on the ground here and a massive cleaning process, obviously to start reconstruction. So you got a lot of vehicles damaged there too. And this here is actually a multi-million in the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars lockup that was only built a few years now, and that has extensive damage to the outer sides. All here, if you could remember, if anybody came to BRICKDAM, remember there were huge buildings here, right? All here had building, 3-story building right away around. All of that has since been demolished, completely destroyed by fire yesterday. How exactly this happened is yet to be ascertained, but it has caused a bit of a setback for the Guyana police force, who's already taxed with what people are looking at as you know, a crime situation that needs to have a proper handle on it. And you would have heard before this video, I did a live where the president was expressing, I would want to believe in secret, he was expressing his dissatisfaction with the fire service. And I walked in actually, and I can tell you, the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, President Ali, has traits like no other president in this country. He expresses no other president in this country would have experienced before, because from my understanding of history and Forbes Burnham and Dr. Jagan and Dr. Jagdeo, I can tell you, you know, I've heard a lot of stories of Forbes Burnham and heard he was a real charismatic leader. All of us would have experienced the country's growth under Dr. Jagdeo. There was a short stint by Dr. Jagan, and these were presidents from both sides, the PNC and the PPP. Hoyt, President Hoyt, I could remember, was you know, somebody that not much harsh words could be brought against, although he was a PNC leader, and the political parties have their skirmishes. But the time of their tenure might be brought into question, but the personalities themselves, you know, some bit of respect has to be given to them. So after coming through all of these presidents, and some we would have read, you know, I was 5 years of age when President Burnham died, but I knew of President Jagan. I knew of President Hoyt because he used to live on North Road, a place where I used to go fishing in his trench in his front yard, and so I know of President Hoyt. To say these things, that there is a difference in President Ali. The President Ali is, I would want to think, the modern president, a president who realizes the importance of keeping the people abreast with what's going on. I think President Ali, and we're yet to see, President Ali is very young in his tenure, only a year now, but we're yet to see changes in President Ali's attitude that heads in a negative direction. Because as the problems arise, President Ali seems to mature a bit more. President Ali is just back from the UN, where although they've had some hiccups, and that was made a big issue with the opposition unnecessarily, and for just cause, to represent their side and you know, rile up the fools. President Ali put Guyana on the center stage. At the UN, Guyana was on the center stage. Guyana was on the world market. The world was looking at Guyana. So one has to respect, no matter what side of the political divide you're from. You gotta respect that you're seeing a president in action. And this we have not experienced in recent years. Again, you have had hands-on president, you've had Forbes Burnham, who I have never experienced, but was said to be a very charismatic leader, although there was so much, there's so much shortcomings to suggest that his tenure would have seen, but nonetheless, a great leader if put into a certain context. President Ali is showing certain traits that I think Guyanese could sit and say, well, this is a president we can back, no matter who you are. President Ali, none other than the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, came and was on the ground, came to see this devastating situation that is obviously setting back the Guyana police force, and did not try to cover up. He told the Guyana Fire Service of his dissatisfaction, live, by the way, on the Guyanese Critic Live for Daybreak News. He also made the people aware that the issues that are addressed by the Guyana Police Force A Division headquarters, the Ministry of Home Affairs is putting things in place to ensure that there's no setback to the citizens. There's a setback to the Guyana Police Force, there's a setback to the country in general because there's a cost, and again, taxpayers' money. But the citizenry will get their service provided to them at all costs, right? So the president came himself to ensure that this works, that the effects of this do not spill over and create discomfort for the citizenry. Very, very important. So I am glad to be here, and I would want to think in my older age to come, I will be able to say I would have witnessed, or I would have been a part of history, and that is in years to come. Again, I would love the opportunity to be around long enough to say, well, I've experienced a president who is for people, and I'm hoping the president keeps that posture, because people change, times change, but every time the president comes out to deal with an issue, he seems to grow more mature. He seems to have more of an interest, and unlike people who would wind down from heights, the president seems to be gaining new heights every time. Just in wrapping up, I came this morning to do a live because the president was on the ground assessing the fire situation, the devastating situation after the fire that completely destroyed the BRICKDAM police station and A Division headquarters, and just opposite, and this is actually opposite the Ministry of Home Affairs, there is the St. Stanislaus College compound, and that the tents have been placed there that if you have to make your report, the police are setting up themselves to ensure that they can address the citizenry issues. You got workers here already starting to clean up the place to make sure that the operations are up and running again. The Guyanese Critic coming to you from BRICKDAM for Daybreak News.